Howdy, Internet. Today we have this lovely Fender Strat Plus. That is, I believe, from the late 1980s or maybe early 90s. I'm not exactly when the year was with these, but we're going to restring it. We're going to clean it up a little bit. We're going to pull off the pick guard so we can see the back of these lace sensors because they don't look standard from behind like the modern ones do. So a little bit about this guitar. I was told from the owner. Oh no, this is an 81 Strat Plus, 1981. Wow, this thing's older than I am. I'm pretty old. Factory Spurzle locking tuners, Wilkinson roller nut. The lace sensors are factory from Fender. The tone pot has a detent in it that goes like treble when you turn it up and then bass when you turn it down. So this isn't your standard tone knob right here for this. Let's open the back so I can show you the trim setter. So what we're going to do to this, we're going to restring it, clean it up, and then set the trim to float. This kind of is more of like a show and tell. And I'm kind of glad this guitar came in because I really like Strats, and the Strat Pluses of this era to me are like really phenomenal guitars. So this one is kind of a show and tell, although this one's pretty heavy. This has got some weight to it. Heavy beast. I'm going to pull off the back cover because we got to do this anyway, and then I'll show you the trim setter. That doesn't fit. Let's try the screwdriver. I haven't done a video in a minute. I've been super busy with a bunch of jobs. I don't always have time to stream them because I try to set it up to where I can get the job done and all in one stream to where I'm not having to worry about customers or don't have lessons coming up or anything. Let's remove the back of this and see the Spurzle factory locking tuners. Stratocaster. Love me a good Stratocaster. I used to not like these growing up. I used to think these weren't cool enough. They weren't hard enough. There's your trim setter. So basically this adds like a counter tension that pushes the trim back a little bit. While the strings normally pull it this way, the trim setter is a slight tension to counter that so that the trim block always returns back to a set position. And we're going to set this to float. I got to remember how to do that. It's been a minute since I've adjusted one of these. Well, we're either going to do it or die trying. So I'm going to start by easing the string tension off of this instrument, and then I'm going to cut these strings down the middle. We're going with the set of Diodario NYXL9s, and I am finally a Diodario dealer now, so you can now hop on the website in the description and buy yourself the Diodario products I carry. All right, so let's loosen these. I've done one of these before. It is kind of tricky because you have to like feed the strings through this nut. I'm not sure there's a quicker way to do this, but as far as I know, you kind of have to feed them through. I'm going to loosen them all. I measured the original strings when the customer was here, and it's like this weird custom set. This is like an 8, and then this was like a 10. Really, really light strings, and then the bottom were kind of normal. But all that's coming off. We're going to clean it up and then set it up with Diodario 9s, 9 to 42. I like the NYXL strings. I can say that now that I carry them. And actually mean it. They're good strings. I like the way they sound. I'm going to take these out. Going to unlock the locks for the locking tuner, sorry. Not a locking nut. This is a roller nut. Maple neck. These are falling off. That's all right. We'll put it back on. I do interact with the comment section, so if you have questions or comments, feel free to, or the chat. Oh, I also interact with both. I interact with the chat live, but the comment section, I do read all the comments. So if you have questions or concerns, or I don't know, you just want to troll me, that's fine. Whatever. Off with the old strings. This kind of weird shape set. Weird sized. Weird sized set of strings. I'm going to put a little tape across the pickups. Oh, that should be good. And then give me a couple of these covers. Protect this, prevent me from scratching the finish on the fingerboard while I polish the frets. Although steel wool doesn't really scratch. This is quadruple aught steel wool. You could use it on your skin. I don't know why, but it's not that abrasive. But it polishes very well. Polishing. It's starting to look much shinier. See if I can change the angle so y'all can see. No, you can't really tell in the camera. Continue to polish.
I do it because I know him, so.
I may have to. I know that I haven't seen that guy in a long time. I may have been this stream here in a second.
Oh, the old guy? Dude, it's hot in here.
It's because you showed up.
I'm gonna call the police and say this is too hot in here.
I'm live streaming right now, so you know. But good to see you, man.
I was in the neighborhood. I just want to come by and see you and kiss you and tell you I love you. And that's about it, you know.
Great to see you, Sal. How you been?
Oh, fucking beat you.
Check out this Strat. This is a Strat Plus from 1981. This is an awesome guitar. Factory lace sensors. It has a detented tone control.
Is it like an up and down or?
Feel it. It's like in the middle, then in that way's treble, and then that way's bass. Roller nut from the factory, Wilkinson, factory Schallers, and then it has a trim setter.
I need to not be close to it because my breath can't be on something important thing around. That's fucking badass.
It's a nice guitar. I'm a D'Addario dealer finally.
Really?
So yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, this is a cool.
Squire is fucking more better than any guitar that I've had. That it was given to me like probably like 12 years ago.
Sometimes those Squires can be really awesome. You know, you set it up the way you like, and
it is not. Dude, the plugins, I had to tighten that one a little bit. Other than that, dude, every fucking note you put on high, it is just clean as hell.
Nice. Tape them.
Who are you doing this for?
This is for one of my customers. I don't think you know this individual.
It doesn't matter.
I taped the pickups because of the steel wool dust.
Yeah, I saw Matt sold him one of my JBL monitors, powered ones.
Nice.
And talked good about you, of course.
That's
And
good.
he said, thank you for letting me know about him. And I said, hell yeah, that'd be the old motherfucker, I'd tell you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I did some work on his guitar, a couple of his guitars, one of his Gibsons, and then I did a fret leveling on one of his Strats. Also, one of his Strats, I put a different one. This was a while ago. I put some pickups that I made in it, and that's the one that he has that's this color that he's been playing. The pickups in it are the ones I made for him. Those came out really good, so I was kind of glad that he got that set. Because I finally, when I made that set for him, I finally had everything kind of tuned in and figured out in terms of pickup making. So he got like a really good set.
Yeah, I sold the Mesa Boogie amp.
Oh, I did tell me.
I've had that for fucking.
Did Matt buy it?
20-something fucking years. No, no, I sold a Guitar Center because, you know, Holly wasn't working. Her body got burnt. So she wasn't working. So I was like, well, hell, I'm not using it. When I play it like once every 6 months.
It's a great sounding amp.
Oh,
was it a 44 caliber they call it? 40 cal or 44?
Yeah, caliber. It's a 50.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 50 caliber.
It was a great amp.
I thought I was never, ever going to get rid of it, but I had to, hell. I got rid of all my bass, except for the first 4-string bass that I bought when I was 21, 28 years ago. And the Music Man, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, those are great basses. That one sounds great because I've seen you play it several times.
No,
not at all.
That is my favorite one, dude.
I've always wanted one of those.
Oh god, it's the best thing in the world. You have to get the right one. It was an ugly little paint on it. It didn't bother me, but it just right, and it was
just saying,
fucking Guitar Center because he always did it for free for years. Sometimes I didn't have to pay for the strings. It was just I forgot his name, dude. My brain, it was taking care of my wife for fucking months. My brain was fucking gone. But, oh well.
Yeah.
How's your mom doing?
She's doing much better. She's back to her usual self.
Excellent. But yeah, just come drop off some clothes for one of her friends. Instead of putting it to Goodwill, go to work in Kingwood, and then go home. So I love you, man.
Good seeing you again, Sal.
I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great one. Thank you. So I'm being corrected. This is not a 1981. This is a 1991 Strat Plus. So I am older than the guitar. Anyway. We're going to put the strings on. We are going to say we. I guess it's me and the internet. Going to put the strings on, tune it, and then start adjusting the springs so that the trim will float. And so I learned a trick from another YouTube video. Unfortunately, I can't remember the title or anything. I'd have to dig it up, but it's probably along the lines of how to float a Strat trim. And I believe it was like a English sounding guy. And then basically he used a business card, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use one of my fancy business cards to set this trim to float. So we're going to try that method. Now that I'm remembering how these trim setters work, I believe they also have like a positive stop. I stuck that to the wrong hole. They have a positive stop, I believe, to where you can kind of minimize, like if you don't want it to go like below a certain point, it will stop and break so that, you have a positive stop as far as how like low you want to take it. If I'm not mistaken. Lovely guitar. I've played one of these before from the same guy as this one. Got to remember how to string this properly. It goes like over that roller and then under the other one. It's like an over-under kind of deal. We're going to do that with all of them. Now for locking tuners, I don't angle the holes this way. I actually angle the holes perpendicular to the neck. And you'll see why in a second. But I can do these one at a time. But you just, since they're locking, basically just feed it through. Maybe no, because I'm actually going back on what I just said. It's hard to feed these in through the roller nut. So we're going to angle them straight on. We're going to angle it straight on. And then we're just going to pull back on it slightly. Just that much. Just a little. And we're going to tighten. Tighten this. And that's how we do it. The point of locking tuners is to minimize the amount of wraps that need to go around the machine head, so that because it's in those wraps that they compress and expand, and that causes your tuning to slip. And if the owner of this guitar is watching, on the other one I did, that blue one you had, I had to string it twice because I put it through the roller nut incorrectly. So now I know how to properly do it. I'm not going to make that mistake again this time. Not going to make that mistake again. So this job should theoretically take me less time. Oh, you know what? I forgot to pull the guard on this. You know what? We're going to do that. We're going to do that before I go too much further, because I want to see the back of these pickups. I forgot to pull the guard. We're going to do that. Glad I remembered. Got distracted by my old friend who's in town. He's played in the band with me. He was one of our backup bass players for back when I was in a band. I don't do that really anymore. I'm gonna take a peek, look under the hood for a second. I think the owner would appreciate this. He likes to see this kind of stuff. A couple more screws. Yeah, correction on this. This is a 1991, not an 81. I wrote the notes wrong for this. Whoopsie. The great reveal. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, these are definitely just like the ones I saw. It'll be hard for me to get this close to the camera, but with this off, I'm going to try to explain what I'm looking at here. So it has the sticker, gives the part number, and then it's patent pending. So it gives a patent number, patent pending, international patent pending, Actodyne General Incorporated. It has these long metal plates on the back of them. Wow, that's interesting. And then it has this these two, I don't even know what the heck that is. Look at this big beefy tone pot. It's a stack pot. And so it's part of the tone control. That is one of the coolest looking switches I've ever seen. Feels great too when you flip the thing. I don't know who makes that switch. Yeah, I can see a name on it. Don't ask me about date codes. I don't know how to date the pots. I'm going to snap a picture. Like modern lace sensors, they have like an all plastic base, and I think the back of them is epoxy potted, and so they got like this schmoo, this goop that kind of hardens, holds everything together. Also, like that giant cavity here, so I don't know why you'd want to swap these pickups, but if you did, you can pretty much go with anything in any guard. But if you did that, I wouldn't buy this guitar for that intention. I would buy this guitar and rock the pickups that are on it, because these things sound pretty great. Let me put this back on. Yeah, those are the original lace sensors. Speaking of lace sensor, I'll tell a short story. There was an old representative that used to, I guess, sell lace sensor products, and he came to my store and he quit selling for lace sensors. Anyway, he was trying to sell me a bunch of old stock that he had lying around, and he had a bunch of different pickups. He even had acoustic pickups from lace sensor, which I didn't even know that was a thing, but it is, or was. I don't know if they still do that, because this is all old stuff he had. But he had a lace sensor guitar, and this was like an entry level guitar. And so I get to looking at this thing, and like I asked him, because he was a lace dealer, I was like, so do they put lace pickups on this lace guitar? And he's like, no, they're just some cheap Chinese pickups. And I'm like, what's the point? I know they're trying to keep the cost down on it, but like, why brand a guitar after your pickups but not put your pickups in it? I don't get it. But obviously, I don't think that lasted very long, because that was the only one I've seen. Like, there are a few floating around on Reverb, and they're inexpensive. But he was trying to sell me that guitar as new, and like on the back of it, the finish split. There was like a straight seam down the back where all the paint just split in this even line. It looked like somebody took a razor blade and just ran it down the back of it, and split it like it was saran wrap. But he didn't like my offer for all that stuff he was trying to sell me. But I didn't end up buying anything off of him. I didn't really even want that stuff. He was just trying to kind of let go of some old stock on me. He's trying to sell me that guitar is new, and he was like, well, this is what the dealer cost on this guitar was. It was like $100. And I was like, that guitar's not new. The paint split on the back. Like, I don't care what you paid for it. I know you're trying to get out of it, but this is all stock that you couldn't sell. What makes you think I'm going to have an easier time pushing it? And if I really wanted to, I could probably just call up Lace and order direct. I don't have to, because like if I buy off of another retailer, I don't get any type of privileges. If any of that stuff's bad, I don't get any warranty or anything on it. All right, last screw. We can finish stringing this stuff, and then we'll float the trim. Like to know what y'all think about this guitar. You can tell me in the comments or the chat. I like Strat, so I think this thing's pretty cool. Oh, I just gotta letting it go through. There we go. One thing I also noticed is no string tree, but you don't really need it because the way this roller nut's designed, it almost has a tree built into it. Couple more strings. We can tune it, float it. Had a lot of work since my last video. I just haven't had the time to stream any of it. And some of the stuff's not worth really streaming. You know, you get some low-end guitars that need new strings. You know, easy jobs that just aren't all that interesting. I should maybe aim to do it more just to get in the habit. Maybe even if it is not that interesting. Now, normally say it's like, well, we sell these products on the website, and we do. And I used to push this one a lot, even though I'm out of stock on it. However, they discontinued these. I think they're coming out with a better version of this. So we'll see, because I tried to order more, because I recently did an Ernie Ball order. And they said it's discontinued because it's going to be replaced. We'll see what they come out with. I'm going to get me one. Definitely a tool I use every day. Also, I have a new tuner for this. Bam! I'll set this way, get a cable. Peterson. I don't sell this one on the site. I sell their pedals, and I sell like the Peterson clip-ons. You can buy the clip-on the site. This I have access to, but I don't normally stock this. However, if there's a demand for it, I can get them. Highly accurate. Customer normally likes 10s on his guitars, but I guess I talked him into a set of 9s for this one. I'm a 9s player, so I guess he's gonna see what they're all about on this one. One thing that's cool about this is the rechargeable battery. It's got like a lithium battery in it. It's quite nice. All right. Do one last tune, and then we are going to float the trem. I'm going to put this in so I can get the card underneath it. I think he used 2 cards. Let me see. Let me grab a second card of these awesome things. Look how great this is. Sorry, I'm proud of my business cards. Oh yeah, 2 cards. We are floated now. Gonna tune again because I did adjust the trim. I'm gonna get a pick too so I can pick it. Oh, it helps if I plug in the tuner derp. The tuners on this guitar are nice. I mean, you can you can just put it exactly where it needs to be. That's amazing. Okay, so let me clip the excess and then retune it again. I'm letting it sit for just a little bit before I float the trem. Also, me clipping this will probably change the pitch, so I'm going to tune it again. after clipping the excess. And then after I float the trim, I'm going to plate a bit. And then take this thing and flee to Canada. No, I wouldn't do that. See, just by me clipping them has caused this thing to detune. I'm not surprised though, because that does it with every guitar. All right, we are in tune. So after the cards are under it and it's in tune, and then again, this isn't my technique. I learned this off of somebody else. Looking for my larger screwdriver. Oh, it's where it should be. We're gonna essentially hold it upright, and then we're gonna start tightening these screws. I'm gonna sit down for this until the cards drop out of it. So let's go. I may have to hold this differently because that is not. It's a weird angle to get in here and to get this. I may have to use a different screwdriver. Okay. I'm gonna have to do this in my lap, unfortunately, because it's kind of tricky to get in here, and I don't want to strip on any of the screws on this guitar. So bear with me. May not be the most viewable thing. Non-Tag says, "Dang, I like your Strat. I wish it was my Strat. It could totally be mine if I just outrun the customer." Joking. I wouldn't do all that over a guitar. Sorry, I got to do this off camera. Hopefully, y'all can maybe see it in my lap, but this is kind of hard to. The way these trims set, or I'll try to show you this. Trying to get the screwdriver in here to adjust these is a little bit tricky, so that's why I'm having a little bit tough time. Let's see if I can prop this up like so and not strip these screws in here. I don't know what's going on with that. That one moves pretty normally. This one almost feels as if it's bound. Actually, I'm going the wrong way. I think I should be loosening these and not tightening them. Wait a minute. So we go this way. Yeah, I need to loosen these. Well, that makes it easier. Helps if I turn it the right way. Okay, let's see if I can do this upright now. Loosening it, it's definitely easier for me than tightening. So just backing off the screw on my left, or the left. Well, the one that was in further, I'm backing that out so that it matches the length of the other one more or less. And then from there, I'm just going to try to keep them even as I loosen them up. Still in tune. And we just do that just when the card falls. Then we stop. Definitely easier to loosen. All right, I'm switching over to the other screw, loosen that one some more. Just back them out little by little. Till right to the point where the cards fall. They got these heavy duty black springs in here. A little bit more. This trim was really tight on this thing. But still kind of smooth though for how tight it was. Yeah, this was definitely set too tight. Still suspending the cards. Keep loosening. One thing I'm going to try, I just realized this. So the shaft of these screwdrivers is hexagonal. And what happens is the little edges, the little corners on this are catching the little hook of the claw. And so as I'm doing it, it's like making the claw move like that. So I'm going to find a screwdriver that's a rounded shaft. Should prevent that. It should make this go a little bit smoother. Just realized, I hope I have one that's a rounded shaft. I have this huge long thing. That's a little bit too long for a shorter one. I guess we'll try it. Nope, way too big. Just continue with what I had. These were really tight in here. Oh, it just fell. Cool. And then that's where we leave it. Now we've floated. I'm going to retune it. Got to push and hold for a second for this bad boy to turn on. I'm not endorsed by Peterson. I'm a dealer, not direct, but I have access to their products. I'm not endorsed by any of the stuff I sell necessarily. I'm just a dealer for it. I don't get any special perks for liking something or not liking something. I just trying to share my opinion on products through my experience. And Peterson's good stuff. We are floating. Oh, I'm turning the wrong one. Derp. Why is it not tuning? This setup's very responsive to tuning. Like, just that little twitch that the, the little meter does. I can really just dial it in. No, I don't think I tuned that right. Let me check one last time, and then I'll play it. All right. Give a little sound test. Move my camera a little bit. See me play it for a minute. Give a little distortion. Hopefully I don't peak the microphone and it sound bad. Where's the switch? There it is. I like making ray gun noises with guitars. All right, one last tune and we'll put the back cover on. Let's see how much it moved since the trim is floated and I've been playing it and reefing on it. So pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. This is still in tune. Off a couple cents, but I just put the strings on. Wonderful. Let me put the back on. I hate to lean it up on its I hate to lean it forward on the thingamahoodle, but whatever. Again, 91 Strat plus, not a whatever I said, 81. This is a cool guitar. I'm probably going to sit here and play it a minute after I end the stream. Love me a good Strat. The only thing I don't like about this, and it's easily changed, this is just like my personal preference, is I don't know if it's like this or somebody actually bent the whammy bar on this, but like the whammy bar is a little bit too high. So if this were my guitar, I'd either get a bar that has less of an angle for that bar to come up, or I would just chalk it in a vise and rebend it, just so that it's closer to the strings. But that's just how I like it. I'm not going to alter. I'm not going to alter the guitar without. It's not mine. But people use trims differently. I like to have a tremolo arm that comes right over playing position. Well, most Strats do. I like the length of Strats because that's like right where my hand is, where I can pick normally. But it is a little bit just kind of too high for me. But that's something that's easily changed. You just replace the bar. They're not that expensive. One last tune. Or not. Amazing. Strum a couple more chords and then I'll call it. This is a complete success. Again, not necessarily a difficult job here. Thanks for watching.